Hi, welcome to Lady Butterfly. We are going to go, this fight's pretty technical, so we're going to go into quite a lot of detail. Click show more in the description below if you just want to jump ahead to the fight. I've got currently I think 12 vitality and 2 attack power. We've gone all the way to Gubu and Blazing Bull. She's really rough to fight if you fight her as soon as you possibly can, so I would recommend coming back. She's not going anywhere. First up, after Juzu the Drunk, you might have missed this prayer bead. So kill these guys, walk up to the shinobi wall, push Hug, and it will flip around. In there's a few things to pick up, but head around to the left a little bit. You can actually just smash through those on the right, but here, there is a chest. This is obviously the second time I'm here. Here's footage from the first. Prayer Bead. So grab that, that might be enough to nudge your health up a little more. Let's talk about her attacks. First up, Perilous Air Attack. When she jumps in the air, not when she's on the rope, throw a Shuriken at her. Try not to land underneath her, you'll take chip damage, and if you hit her with the Shuriken, and if you fail to dodge it, she's going to do a lot of damage to you. You can also dodge out from under it and kind of walk away, but you're best off just going for the Shuriken. It's really hugely telegraphed. Kick, it's a 1-2 kick. She comes slash quite quickly with a deflect, and then there's a pause there. You can dodge it, you can just block it, you can deflect it. Whatever you do, you'll have a chance to get a hit on her afterwards 90% of the time. If you dodge, always. If you deflect, not often. If you just block, you'll be able to do some chip damage. But choose what you want to do based on where you are in the fight. If she's still got quite high health, dodge and do damage, otherwise deflect for the posture bonus. You've got a little throw like that, throw 6 Shuriken. It'll do quite a lot of posture damage. There's a sweep, which you can jump. Usually comes out in the first stage at the beginning or isolated. Occasionally she'll chain it onto the end of a flurry. In the second phase it'll come out. There's a whole dedicated flurry with it. It's kind of a nightmare. Fortunately she doesn't thrust, so you're only ever going to have to jump her moves. Just this flurry into charge where she'll do 3 attacks and then jump up onto a rope and come charging at you. Correct thing to do, throw a Shuriken, that'll knock her down, and then follow up with an attack. You can see the Nightjar attack is good for closing range, although it's only as good as running. You can do it quite late too. There's a pretty big window. The flurry into throw is different, so she does a different amount of attacks at the beginning, then 2 throws, then another one. So when she does the 2 throws, that's the time to throw the Shuriken. Block the first 2. You can throw too early and she'll probably hit you with the Shuriken. You can also throw and block the last hit if you were too late. Here's the difference in timing here. It's a little harder to see side by side. I'll slow them down, but you can see she goes 1, 2, pause, and then 1 and straight back when she's doing the charge. And with the throw she kind of does 4 hits together. Let's watch them one after another, because you need to crack this. This is the charge, see, the pause, hit, back, and then to throw 1, 2, pause, 1, 2, back. So there's a pause before the jump. But if you can tell the difference between these two, that's going to be your biggest cause of damage, I found. Head stomp, you can deflect, you can block it, you can dodge out from under it. She's got to jump away where she'll try and lose angle. If you don't move, it will detarget her, so just walk to the side and it won't lose track when she jumps. She's got this double rope jump. It's wise to just throw a Shuriken at her right at the top of it, there. It looks almost exactly the same as the Perilous when it's going up. But she follows it up with a kick, like that. Throw step, she'll kind of jump back, throw, and then step. There you go, jump back, throw, step. You can deflect that and dodge it. Left, right, double stab. She'll throw left, and then she'll throw right, and then she'll come sweeping in. You can deflect the 2-second hits. You can block them. You can pretty much just hold block in this fight and be relatively safe. You can sidestep it. You can, there we go, deflect, and then get a free hit. Dodge around. She's got a stab, step through, jump, spinning kick. There, stab, and then step through, jump, spinning kick. It's pretty rare. You don't often see that. Knife back, throw back, throwing techniques, throw late. When she's standing on the rope, you can't knock her down. You can only get her when she's in the air between it. See there. You can once you learn to preempt it a little bit, it's pretty easy to get the hang of. You can use spinning Shuriken too if you want, and also don't waste. If you don't hit the first time, don't just throw again without thinking, because she'll pause for a second. You can also use the Fang and Blade, I think it's called, where you throw a Shuriken, step forward. Floating Passage wasn't much use. Nightjar Slash is kind of okay, although it often doesn't really help you, but you can abuse it. You'll see here you can quite often get runs when you knock her down, like that. Come in with a Nightjar Slash and then just keep doing it. And the timing on it is such that she'll quite often have started another move and you can just keep her locked down. It's a bit cheesy, so I don't really recommend it, and it can backfire horrifically. There's a couple of moves she'll do where if you're just spamming it, she'll land on top of you and own you. But it's worth doing, you know, if you're struggling with her, certainly in the first phase, it'll whittle her down. But your basic attack wants to be block or deflect. and then attack with a Shuriken to close in to do some vitality damage. And over the course of the first round, you can literally just hold block. You see I'm just holding block here until she goes up with the Shuriken, there, and then move in for a bit of damage, and do the same again. Block. I'm not even trying to deflect. Did a side swipe there with the kick because I'm a little more used to it now. But yeah, block, your posture will go down, you won't be taking damage. Watch for the sweep if it comes in, that's the only thing you'll have to dodge, but the moment she goes in the air, use that Shuriken, take advantage. See, you can just block them all. And then their Nightjar, you can kind of abuse it. But yeah, that's certainly possible to just block all your way through the first round. But that doesn't really help you with the second. There's also this step dodge abuse. You can step dodge, attack, and then attack again. And quite often it will just keep her pinned down. In phase 1 it's especially effective. She'll almost never get away and you just have her on permanent lockdown. And because you're not over-attacking, she's not deflecting you, so you're not really building up your posture. Something else you want to look for on her, if you over-attack, you will build up your posture gauge very quickly because she deflects almost everything you throw at her. So be ready and just keep an eye on that. But yeah, you can see here you can just step, dodge, cheese your way through. It's not pretty. But if you're really struggling with her, it'll work. Here's the best they did on the first phase. She usually comes in with the left-right, the kind of throw left-right. I've also started knocking her off the wires on that one, but when I recorded this footage, I hadn't. Try and get as many deflects as you can, because that's going to build her posture gauge. Once again, I never read the sweeps. She almost never does it in phase 1, so I'm never thinking about it. You can see there I've kind of got the timing down on the throw. She was just leaving the string at that point. But you want to run with a follow-up. I find it much more effective than a Nightjar slash. The Nightjar she quite often blocks, whereas when you come in with a side swipe, she is less likely to block it. If you see her, those deflects are now knocking my... when she's deflecting me, it's knocking my posture gauge up quite a lot, so my posture's getting a little bit worrying, but my health's fine. And I was determined not to cheese here, but she's not attacking at all, so I'm trying to bait something out of her because I don't want her posture to go down too low. But this is definitely one where you want to break her posture. Don't focus too much on her health. If you find you've taken her health down, then you're probably approaching it incorrectly. Try and switch some of those moves that you're doing vitality damage with to posture once her health's at about half. You can also deflect your way through, as I said. It's not always going to be perfect, she's rough, but it's worth learning the patterns. We've gone through 90% of her moves already. But this is, you see that flurry that she did there with the sweep at the end, this is because we're on phase 2, one of her circles is already down. And I got lucky here as well, because this is phase 2. Oh no, it's not phase 2, I'm lying, otherwise she'd be doing butterflies, sorry. But anyway, however you get her, take her down. Naughty, naughty, naughty Lady Butterfly. And we're on to phase 2. Phase 2 is where things get a bit different. At the start, take a pellet and a sugar if necessary. You hopefully haven't taken too much health loss, so you have a little bit of time to wait, and then come over and wait by these rocks here. Use an Echo sugar. You can farm those with the Senpu monks if you've got there. But see this little pool of water in this rock here, stand right there, she'll drop down in front of you and you can get a couple of free hits. If you want to add a Divine Confetti to the mix, that does a little more damage too. But you essentially want to watch for this move. This is the big new one. She does this snap illusion and these little guys appear. Now, they kind of seem like a pain, and you want to keep an eye on her and track her and make sure she's not throwing stuff at you or about to cause trouble. You can focus on her a little bit while she's doing her nonsense, but eventually she will snap her fingers. These guys will disappear. You'll see maybe just in the air there, all these things come down, and they hurt a little bit. Individually, together, they hurt a lot. But there's actually a good reason not to use a snap seed here. Because this fight's very Shuriken heavy, Spirit Emblem heavy, these guys mostly, I think like at least sort of 2 and 3, about 60% of the time, they'll drop a Spirit Emblem. I was on 0, and just after killing these guys relatively safely, took a bit of health damage, but I'm back up to 5, which is going to put me in good stead for getting openings in the second phase. You can use the Whirlwind Slash here. It'll take these guys out, but you can see here I'm not paying any attention to her. These Shuriken come in, I should, or Kunai or whatever they are, I should know they're coming and know that she's coming soon afterwards, but I've failed. You can use the pillar to block those attacks pretty successfully. You can also just block them yourself. These ones won't do any damage, but they will do quite a lot of posture damage, and if you take a full round, it will overwhelm you and you'll take some chips, so be wary. But if you miss at least a few, you can block the rest. Here's all of them. I think she got a throw in here as well with a few more, which is what I took damage from and fell down. But yeah, you probably don't want to be blocking them just because you can't really see what's happening. The illusion can happen any time. That was her dropping down right at the beginning, so it's not always okay to keep the pressure on her in the hope that she won't. She'll sometimes pull it out and there's nothing you can do. You can catch her at the end of the illusion, do an extra bit of damage. You've got a little bit of time before those things drop, and she'll generally drop down. Maybe you can get a hit. Let's take advantage of that. She's got this flurry to sweep. Finishes with a sweep, so somehow I managed to dodge that, but made no use of it. Here it goes again. Try and jump it, get a couple of attacks on the end of the jump as well. And pretty much every move she does now has some butterflies attached. These always do damage. See here, like the flurry to charge, the flurry to throw, the kick doesn't, sorry. The forward stab does though, the evil woman. But yeah, watch for these butterflies, watch for them during the snap phase as well, the finger snap phase. See, they come off the flurry to throw as well. So yeah, just be wary. You can dodge out of the way. They're unblockable. You can see there, you'll take damage from them. The best thing to do is dodge them, jump over them, run under them. If she does them in the air, just run forwards, you'll get out of the way. You can jump around to the side, you'll see in one of the final rounds that I show you. I think I do that, but we'll check. Having said she might immediately do any attack, you can in fact keep her back to a wall. If you push her back, you'll see here, I managed to get around her, and then she's on her back foot here. She keeps trying to back off to make distance, and eventually she'll go up in the air. You can knock her down. A little bit late there, but push her back here. And because she's always trying to create distance before she casts butterflies, because she'll generally try and go up over the wall, you'll get a bunch of free hits on her. You might not keep her locked down forever, but you should be able to chip away at her a bit, so it's good if you can get it done early on. It's again a little bit cheesy, but I think she's such a nightmare, it's probably a valid tactic. There's going to be a lot harder boss fights to come, so it might be worth learning Deflect timings, even though I'm not really doing it very well. But you can see here she doesn't even get a chance to get the snap seed off because she's just under pressure so much trying to make space. I think she maybe does right at the end. No, not even. Yeah, I took a tiny bit of damage there, but that's how to slightly abuse distance. You can ignore butterflies to a large degree and use pellets. You'll note that I don't use a pellet here, but I don't really take any damage from her. Most of it's from butterflies. So if you're worried about running out of gourds, use a pellet. At the beginning of the, well, once you start to take a bit of damage on the second phase, you'll always get moments. If you knock her off a shuriken, for example, I could have taken one here. I had plenty of time. I would have done 1 point less damage, but over the course of the fight, it's not going to make that much difference. And it's obviously better to be alive. Instead, I end up taking too much. I get greedy. I think I'm going to get her here, but I waste shurikens. Then I come around, I run in for the kill, and maybe I get it. Yeah, chase out that final snap seed. So yeah, you can ignore butterflies to a degree and just use pellets to counteract them. That's perfectly valid. Dodge cheese kind of works here, especially if you can keep her backed into a corner, because that way you'll be interrupting her attacks. But it's also pretty easy to lose sight of her. But yeah, pushing her up, you'll see here. I managed to get her against the wall, and it's just dodge, and then you really want to attack afterwards. And there's a couple of times she gets the better of me. But she'll try for the jump. Now she's got a bit of distance. But I managed to chase her out and then keep her against the wall, and you can just see she's just a little confused by what's going on, and so there comes the snap, but she's nearly done, so move in for the finish. Boom. So, yeah, there's a few ways to deal with her, and obviously here are some more. The number of times I got her down, happy days. Another one close to snap seeds. Go on. Might even be the same one. So, you do what you need to do to get her there. I'll show you the whole fight all the way through. Here it is. Came in with a sweep to begin, so that's an easy counter. The thing you don't want to do is run all the way towards her, because she can just open up much quicker than you on most of her attacks. Because you'll be running, it'll be slow. I'm using the dodge cheese here just because I've fought this first round so many times, I just want to get through it. It's pretty reliable in the first phase, and really the second phase is what's going to be challenging. By the time you're wiping against her second phase significantly and consistently like I was, you're going to find this is just the quickest way to break through it. Your deflects are going to get pretty good as well, although you're not really seeing that many good ones here. I'm missing a lot and walking into stupid stuff too. But I was really lucky to miss that one. Something went really weird with that one. I threw a shuriken at the right time, but it didn't take her down, and then she jumped over me instead. But that's the first phase down. Took about a minute. Then come back here, stand by this rock right by this pool. I didn't take any sugar this time, and my health's fine. I didn't want to heal, but I could have used a pellet. I keep talking about pellets. But yeah, I'm just tanking the butterflies pretty much, because I'm waiting for her to create opportunities where she jumps up. And again, like the damage, as long as you've got 2 or 3 health bars going, I think at this point I've got 13 vitality, you can afford to tank them a little bit. Obviously it's going to be much harder if you're coming here with much lower health, and again, I don't know why you would. Because the other thing is, the thing she drops, the Sakura Droplet, you can't really use until significantly later in the game anyway. Hero's so annoyed. I'm taking butterfly damage. I had her posture all the way down, but now it's just slowly recovering. That's the other thing to be wary of in this phase. Her posture will get a chance to recover, unless you've done significant damage to her health already. So just keeping that pressure on before she snaps for the first time can be useful too. And there's no harm in like just dying and restarting if it's going badly at the beginning of phase 2. If you're still practicing the moves, it's worth seeing through, but I tended to, unless I had a really good first stage, I would just let her kill me. And the other thing is, you don't need to cure Dragon Rot. Like if you're wiping against her frequently and doing nothing else, don't worry about Dragon Rot. It's only going to build up, but one droplet will cure the lot, and all it will do is affect NPCs for missions. And since you're not doing any missions or quests anyway, it makes no odds. But there we go, she's down. I played it really stupidly. I should have taken some health just to finish her off, but I wanted to get one where I didn't heal or use a resurrect. And so there we are, it was done. Hurrah! Finally. So my best advice to you is persevere, stick with it. You'll get there eventually. You'll get an attack, a memory, which is an attack point. So if you've just come from Gyubu, it'll make everything else a lot easier. And you'll get this Sakura Droplet. I don't think I showed it there, but yeah, here's another death, I think. Persevere, keep with it. You're going to die. It's really okay. It's going to annoy you, walk away. I go and watch Magnum PI at the moment. It's really awful. It's not as good as the original, but there's something I quite enjoy about it. Probably Higgins. Anyway, on the left, the Blazing Bull. If you haven't done it, let's put on the left, actually, Juzu, in case you haven't got here yet. On the right, we'll put the Blazing Bull, because that's where I'm headed next with more attack power. But yeah, click the eye on the top right for this playlist. A complete walkthrough of the game with all the bits and pieces. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Lots of love. Bye.